At this time, we're going to have speakers come up, the first of which is going to be Maggie. She was a part of Turning Point USA. She's kind of our media coordinator, and she's going to give a poem about losing your humanity.
Hi, everyone. Because of quarantine and the lack of human connection that the youth have had, people have forgotten how to treat each other. And that's kind of what my poem's about. It's called Forgetting Our Humanity. The driveway is dark when I get home from the store. The radio cuts off and even the music won't stay anymore. The rhythm of the rain is the soundtrack to my thoughts, as memories flood in, ones I had almost forgot. I miss all of my friends, the ones that are gone. There are different people now, they've changed and moved on. I see who I was and who I am now. I want to live again, but I don't know how. I'm going through the motions, not living my life, just getting through the week and trying to stay alive. I'm tired of being alone and staring at a screen. I want to have adventures. Please end this quarantine. The world is dark. Goodness is what it lacks. And I'm sick of our society. I want my freedom back. People have forgotten that we're all human beings. We all have dreams, ambitions, and feelings. Even though we're all different, we all need connection. Because right now, the risk of suicide is greater than the risk of infection. Our humanity is at stake. So stop looking to blame, because no one is perfect. We're all really the same. I fear for my generation. I know we are strong, but we need to let go of our anger and focus on love. And as I watch the rain roll down the window of my car, I wonder just how long before we take this way too far. So next time that you talk to someone different than you, please just remember that they're a human being too. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate you taking the initiative to fight apathy, because I believe that is the biggest problem in our society right now. We all have these beliefs, we all have these morals, we all have these values, but we do nothing about it. But you, every single one of you, you are doing something about it. You are here, you are talking to your family, you are talking to your friends, and you are encouraging others to take a stand and step up. So I thank all of you, because you have no idea how impactful this is. Because the people who are going to be affected by this are not necessarily people right here, but the people that you go and you take it to everyone else. We are not just affecting these people right here. We are giving joy to others. I came here and I was so incredibly happy to see Santa. And I'm like, this is the first year that I've ever been happy to see Santa. And I recognize that I haven't seen anybody, none of my nephews, none of my little siblings be able to go sit on Santa's lap and ask what they want for Christmas. That's where we are at this point. A little kid can't ask what they want for Christmas. So this is what we're fighting for. We're fighting for happiness again. We're fighting for joy again. And we're fighting to open up Washington. Yes. At this time, I'd like to invite up our next speaker, which is Melissa. Give her a round of applause.
Hello. Some of you might remember that I spoke last week. And before I made my speech last week, I made what I thought was an insignificant, funny mask TikTok video. I made it and literally forgot about it. I came home that night to over 2 million views. I thought it was a glitch. Like, how would that even be possible? It currently stands at 4.1 million views. I have since gone private. I received some nice messages from random strangers. I also received some not nice ones. I'm going to read you some of the private messages and some of the comments that were posted on that video from random strangers. When your kids get the Rona from you, I hope you heal. I hope you don't get sick to the point of death. But I hope you know when you give it to your blank kids, they'll die because they had you for a mom. Death is better than a life with such an ugly, fat blank. You're private because you're a blank. croak on a blank blank. People like you make me sick. See you in hell. All the same person. Apparently they get 3 messages on TikTok before you respond. Who knew? Dumb blank, stupid blank. I only get 3 messages, so the last one will be, I hope you die. You are a blank blank human being and a blank blank mom. I hope your children grow up motherless because you died from COVID. Hope you suffer. Hope you're lying in an ICU bed thinking that you will never get to see your children as you're grasping for air. Yes. And then one of the comments was, what's her username so I can bully her? Like, people actually say this. This is the world that we are isolating our kids into. This is the safe place for kids to be. I'm an outspoken, confident adult. Not one person here would know that I get messages telling me what a horrible mother I am and how they hope I die and my kids grow up motherless if I didn't tell you. Can you imagine what is going on behind the scenes with kids? In this online world of keyboard warriors that is so safe for them. Before COVID, all we heard was how dangerous online was for our kids. Limit screen time. Oh gosh, now I lost my place. Have them go outside and play with kids. They need to be socialized in person. And now we've done a complete 180. Kids that are introverted, shy, new to a city or school feel like they have no friends. If they're not keeping streaks on Snapchat or putting themselves out there on Instagram, they're sitting alone, drifting apart from the friends they used to have. They feel like they have no friends when in reality, all it would take is a couple days of in-person school to bring those kids back to life. Kids have an awkward moment or small rift within a friend group, don't actually see each other in person, so nothing gets fixed. At most, it gets talked about over text or Snapchat, but they don't see each other in person. They aren't sitting next to each other in math or going to football practice and realizing that they do still like these people, and it's just little things that usually blow over in usual course. Instead, previously unbreakable, lifelong group friendships are shattered in pieces, and they are staying that way. In the alternative, kids will keep hanging out with toxic people because it's better than being alone. Kids aren't in classes making new friends. They aren't in leadership and teamed up with people that they realize they have things in common with. They'll just keep hanging out with people that are mean or brush them off because the alternative is being alone. Think about the impacts of that and what we are teaching these kids as they grow up into adults. Going back to my own experience with the TikTok videos this week, you never know what someone is going through. You don't know what silent conversations are being played out in this now safe for kids online world. You never know what side of the ledge your comments, your words will push them to. Will it push them over that ledge, or will your words, your kindness, your understanding pull them off of it? These are dangerous times for the next generation, and we as parents, as educators, and as a society have to do better. We have to stand up and be loud for these kids. We have to show by example that it is okay to advocate for yourself and advocate for others. Students here need to reach out to friends, acquaintances, strangers. You need to be brave and tell people the truth of how these lockdowns, school closures, and lack of sports and extracurricular activities are affecting you. When one speaks, it empowers another to feel the same. We will be brave. We will be loud. And we will get these kids back in school.
Thank you so much, Melissa. It's crazy to hear how uncommon of a story this is. Where you sharing your belief, it goes viral, and then you get ridiculed and death threats from it. That happened to my own sister, Autumn. She did an attack video against Teen Vogue because they released an article, 12 Reasons to Celebrate Your Abortion with Your Friends. And there were countless death threats. There were countless occasions where we literally considered moving, getting an attack dog, whatever. But we've come to a time where we don't have tolerance. Even though that's their entire stance, is tolerating different beliefs and who you think you are. But we need to understand that we need to both have truth and love. And that's what I think it all boils down to. And what a lot of people think that you only need to have is truth. You can share your belief, you can respond to somebody's post truthfully, but also having love. You don't have to give somebody death threats in order to make your point. That's uncivil, and that's not American. Now I'd like to invite the next speaker, Danae Snavely. She's also a part of our Turning Point chapter locally here, and she's going to be talking on the topic of suicide. So if you could give a round of applause for her as well.
Hi, my name is Danae Snavely, and as Chase said, I'm a part of the local Turning Point USA groups. I'm also a junior at Linden High School, and for those of you who don't know, we just switched back to 100% online learning after a short stint of in-person school. Contrary to what many politicians want you to believe, this has had a tremendous impact on our youth. Before the COVID shutdowns, I had school every day with sports practices after, and almost every day I had extracurriculars after that. Then the lockdowns happened, and all of this went away. I went from constantly having something to do to nothing at all. We are taking away students' personal connections and relationships, which are essential for everyone, especially for students who are still developing socially and emotionally. One of my best friends, before I met her, went through some very challenging times a few years ago. She didn't have any friends, she had a difficult home life, and had personal struggles going on as well. Everything got bad enough that she seriously contemplated killing herself. Thankfully, she had one crutch: sports. Sports were the only thing that kept her going. When she was on the field was the only time that she felt truly alive. Now imagine if this went on during the lockdowns. If she didn't have sports, she would not be alive today. I would have never met one of my best friends. I would have never met one of the most incredible people I know, because her only motivation to get out of bed each day came from the promise of practice after school. It breaks my heart to think about this, because I know her story is not unique. I know there are people missing their best friend right now, or their sibling, or their child. There are a lot of people missing their loved ones right now. 439 people in my generation have died of COVID-19 this year. In 2018, over 6,000 people in my generation died of suicide. Over 6,000. And those are just the statistics from 2018. Since the lockdown, suicide rates have dramatically increased. That means that my generation is more than 15 times more likely to die of suicide than of COVID. There are over 5,000 people missing in my generation right now. Kids are being forced out of school and banned from going to extracurriculars. People in my age group aren't even getting seriously ill from COVID, nor are we transmitting it to others easily. 45 of the 56 COVID deaths in Whatcom County were over the age of 80. Another 9 of these 56 deaths were between the ages of 60 and 79. So why are we still sitting at home all day, ignoring the epidemic of suicide in our country from these lockdowns? Inslee, please, let us play, let us learn, and let us be free again. Thank you.
The reason why I think this is so impactful is because it's a topic that's not publicized. You don't see on the news constantly that the suicide rates for our generation are 15 times more likely. But you see on the news the statistics about the COVID deaths and et cetera, et cetera. This is the heartbreaking aspect of this pandemic, and it's being ignored and nobody's talking about it. So that's why we're talking about it. But I am encouraging you, every one of you, I believe this is the most impactful position against these lockdowns, is this increased suicide and the effect that it has been having on teenagers. When I think about this topic, I think about a girl I used to know, you might know her, named Violet. She ended up killing herself, and it's just heartbreaking to know that that's happening more often because of these lockdowns. The next speaker I'd like to invite up is Saskia Koopman. She's going to be sharing her experiences basically on the shutdowns.
Hi everyone, I'm glad you made it out today. My name is Saskia Coatman. I attended Linden Academy High School, but had to drop out because of the low quality Zoom classes and no human contact. The isolation of this year has been a struggle for me, as well as many, many others. I know a sweet, smart 10-year-old girl who has already experienced a hard life, but due to all of this shutdown from Inslee, the union, and the health department, she has become deeply infected with depression. Sometimes she loses all hope. 10 years old. A child at that age should be playing and learning and building relationships. Students have not only lost their social life, which causes emotional and mental injury, they also suffer from a substantial loss of quality education. Solid education is essential, and without it, we will lose our country. The renowned Dr. Fauci and the CDC just announced that the United States should open all schools for the psychological welfare of the children. This country has obediently followed everything Fauci decrees until now. Why are they locking us out of our schools, our relationships, and our future? They have no reason to keep our schools closed. Children in Whatcom County have already experienced 9 months of school disruptions. Inslee and our local health department are damaging the youth. We are barely surviving this, but is surviving enough? Last month, researchers from the University of Washington and the University of California published a striking study. It states, based on the educational attainment lost, they estimate a cumulative loss of 5.5 million life years from this generation of children. And those numbers increase every day schools continue to remain closed. Without solid education, the children and teens of Whatcom County will not lead full and productive lives for themselves or their future families. Frederick Douglass once said, "Some know the value of education by having it. I know it from not having it." To deny education to any people is one of the greatest crimes against human nature. It is to deny them the means of freedom and the rightful pursuit of happiness. The United States depends on the upcoming generation to uphold our country, but America is losing the young people. We must open our schools now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saskia. Now, I also think that not only a major aspect that is being hurt by these shutdowns is our education, but I think the other aspect is sports. Now, I've played select soccer for the past 10 years. I've played on Rangers, North County Alliance for high schools. My senior year was taken away from me because I played soccer in Canada and the border shut down. And I'm just terrified to see what that's going to do to the next generation. That's how I learned how to build character, how to work on a team, how to command, how to lead. And so our next speaker is Jared, and he's going to be talking more on the aspect of education. If you give him a round of applause.
All right. How's everybody doing? Good. So I'm going to tell you a little story and then tie it in after I tell this story on the importance of our youth sports. So first, a little bit about me. My name's Jared Matson. I've been the Ferndale Boys and Girls Club coach for 10 years. I got 2 kids, 13, 9, both sports players. I'm also a Whatcom County umpire. So if there's any fast pitch girls here today, you might have seen me on the field. So our youth sports is incredibly important to the development of the character of the child. And when we take that away from the child, it does nothing but damage. So a little story. I go down to California with my family for one of my good friend's weddings. And we go down there, we have a great time, the whole family goes down there. On the way back, I realize that I have yet to set a roster for the Hub Day Young Tournament. Now, if any families out there have participated in this tournament, it's one of the biggest baseball tournaments of the summer. It falls right after the spring season. It's a great, great time. It's by far, as a coach, my favorite. So as I'm scrambling on the way back in the car, thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I don't even know if my team can play. I start calling my players. I get 5 of my team players from the spring to say I can do it. I'm like, oh, that's not enough to field it. I get 3 more pulled in from past teams in the year. That gives me 8 players. Now, these kids are at an age where there's 10 fielders. There's the 4 outfielder set. And so I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a challenge. But why not? You know, I got 8 kids that want to play ball. Why back out? Why not try to compete against 10 other kids on the field? So 8 of us go in. And, you know, of course, instantly the kids are not stupid. They recognize, they're like, Coach, yeah, we're kind of missing some players. And I'm like, yeah, you know, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's see what we can do. First game, we win it. My kids are amped. Second game, we win it. My kids are pumped. Third game against Baker, which Baker is a very tough team, we win. Now I got 8 kids that went from here, like, oh my God, I can't do this, to here. Like, we got this. Confidence by far, what sports puts into our children. It's huge. It's gigantic. It's one of the biggest things that we have for our children, to be able to develop that skill in them. And we've taken it away. We've let the government take it away, is really what it comes down to. And we didn't win the championship tournament. We didn't. We went up against Baker again. They played a great game, and we ran out of time. That's what it came down to. We didn't get destroyed. We competed. Just ran out of time. But I still had those 8 kids. Now, you can take a loss during the regular season, and those kids will hang their heads a little bit. You know, we lost. You take a loss at the championship game when there's only 8 of you, and there should have been 10 on the field, and those kids are still flying high. They still had that confidence. We cannot remove this from our children anymore. It's about the children, right? It's not about us. It was great as a coach. I mean, I felt the same thing they did. But we can't continue to damage our children in the aspect of not allowing them to participate in sports. But I mean, it's okay if we watch NFL on the TV, right? I mean, it's all right if they're playing, but not our kids. You know, these guys are supposed to know how to behave as adults. They've already got it figured out, supposedly. Our kids don't. Sports brings valuable lessons to our children that we cannot replace with being inside the walls of our home on a daily basis, staring at a screen with digital kids on the other side. It's not going to happen. It's not going to build the confidence. It's not going to build the team building. It's not going to build just the fact of being part of something. Okay, because being part of a computer screen is not something. That's something we can do at any time. We have got to get our kids back on the field. Absolutely. As a Whatcom County fast pitch coach, I know I speak for a lot of the other umpires, Whatcom County umpire, speak for that we dearly miss those girls in that game. So a lot of you, if you've never seen the game of fast pitch, highly suggest you go watch it. It is by far one of my favorite ball sports out there. It is one of the most competitive. It is faster than you'll ever believe it's faster. And the girls that play it, they love the game. They absolutely love it. And it makes us love it. And we go out there because they love it. We go out to be a part of them because of how they love it. But we've taken the love away. The government took the love. The government said down there, stay inside, it'll be fine. And again, I'm going to put it right back to professional sports every time. But the pros can go out and do it. But our children who need it can't do it. How does that make sense to anybody? It doesn't to me. What you're telling me is if you got millions of dollars involved in something, that it's okay to do. But when it comes to my time as a youth coach that I donate, it's not okay. Or my children that they get to play, it's not okay for them. No. Well, we want to keep them safe. That's the parent's responsibility to keep their child safe. Okay? It's not the government's responsibility. It is what we, as a parent, buy into when we decide to have children. Some of us do it better than others, but we all do it. We all love our kids. We've got to get them back on the field. We got to get them back out there playing. So please, spread the word and let's get the kids back out. Thank you guys.
All right, the next person I'd like to invite up is Andrew, and I asked him what he was going to speak about tonight, and he said, freedom. Oh, wait, no. Skip that. We're going to be inviting Emma up to the podium. She's going to be giving a letter that she wrote to representatives about losing friendship. So I'll hand off the mic to her.
Good afternoon. I'm Emma. I'm a sophomore, and I think I'm losing all my friends. It seems necessary to give a little background. In Nicomachean Ethics, specifically Book 8, Aristotle outlined 3 types of friendships. The first 2 friendships, called accidental friendships, are formed through common situation and are based on utility and pleasure. Utility friendships, formed by people who work together, include those between students and coworkers. Because work in some form is always necessary, so too are these friendships. Pleasure-based friendships are shared by those in the same team or club. Different from utility-based friendships, pleasure friendships are based on some kind of shared interest. These 2 types of friendships are considered temporary because they can only last as long as the situation in which they are formed. While neither of these friendships are bad, they are not very strong. The third type of friendship, and those that Aristotle deemed the strongest, are those based on virtue. This type of friendship is based on a mutual love and respect for the pure goodness of the other person. Friendships like these are stronger than accidental friendships. They transcend situation and can survive through outside changes. All that is needed for a friendship of virtue is that both parties continue to value the positive traits in the other. Virtue-based friendships don't have an expiration date. However, life right now is a little different than in ancient Greece, and it seems that my friendships have flipped on their heads. It has been almost a year since I have been able to see most of my close friends. I can't remember the sound of their laughter or the nod of their head. We still text, but what's texting in comparison to the physical presence of someone in the seat next to you? I can no longer see the virtues that once caused me to cherish my friends so dearly. Words on a screen are hollow in comparison. Words can only show so much virtue. All nuance is lost. It's not that I'm completely alone. In fact, I've actually grown closer to some people. But it seems the only way I can maintain friendships is through pleasure or utility. In order to really connect with someone, we have to have some shared interest or duty. It is no longer enough to simply enjoy someone's presence when that presence is only online. So, my strongest friendships have become obsolete, and I can't fix it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think a lot of times we forget the importance of friendship and having a community, not only in our groups, but in our churches as well. And I feel like not only have you lost your friendships, your community, the way you laugh, the way you cry, it's not just with your friends, but with your church and your community as well. But like I said earlier, before I thought Andrew was going to be coming up, I asked him what he was going to speak about, and he just said one word: freedom. And so I'll hand off the mic to him.
A Seattle Prep athlete was quoted in the media in an article this week, and she asked a very simple question. Nope. Did anybody ask me if we were going to shut down? I've already heard several youth come up here and basically say the same thing. Nobody asked me. Now I ask you, were you asked? Were you asked if you were willing to shut down? For a little bit, you said yes. When this first came out, you said, yes, sure, for the good of my friends and for mankind, I'll happily shut down for 15 days to slow the spread. Folks, we are on 10 months of this right now. The youth didn't get a vote. Youth, did you get a vote? No. Parents, did you get a vote? No. Taxpayers, did you get a vote? No. 60+% of your property taxes go to fund education through your bonds, through your local levy, through your state levy. You have had taxation without representation for 10 months. Are you going to accept that? Representation is very important for freedom. If you do not have representation, that is tyranny, friends, and that is what's being foisted upon you. But the good news is this: you do not have to accept tyranny. You do not have to sit there and just accept it day after day. You need to start now, rising up now, and you need to do it in every single way that you can. You need to start first at your local school districts, and you need to demand that they set a schedule for reopening the schools, and not by March for 4 through 6, and by June for 9 through 12. That is not going to cut it. They need to get the schools open now. Friends, we may have different disagreements with what they teach in the schools, or what they are planning to teach in the schools, but that is the next battle. The first battle is getting kids back in school, and why that is important is because the parents that cannot go back to work until their kid is in school is holding back the economic recovery that we so desperately need. An economic recovery starts first and foremost with parents that both work being able to go back to their jobs, with single parents being able to go back to their jobs, trusting that their kids are safe in school. Without the kids in school, the economic recovery will be drawn out, and we will suffer into this depression. Are you willing to drag out this economic depression? What are you willing to do? Because that is the very next question. You need to step up and start taking action. This is a very loose association of freedom-loving people just like yourselves that have not been given the choice, that want to claim back that choice. You need to take small and big actions right now to reach out to your local school boards, to reach out to elected officials. The health department needs to hear from you today. Erica at the health department needs to get a phone call. She needs to get an email. She needs to get a letter. She needs to have you standing outside and saying, Erica, tell the school districts that they can open up. Then you have to go to the school districts and tell them, health departments, they can open up. And you got to play this little game because everybody else gets representation. Teachers get representation. School districts get representation. The lawyers of the school districts get representation. But you haven't had your representation, and it's time to take that back. Tyranny only exists because you allow it to exist. The second you step and say, I will no longer accept this tyranny, what can they do? Open up your businesses. Get to your schools. Demand that they open up. And I tell you what, friends, we won't have to wait until June to see all this come back. We can start now, right now, in restoring our country. We will demand that they open up. We will get our kids back to school. We will celebrate Christmas the way that we want to celebrate it. And if they persist, we shall have the New Year's Rebellion. We shall have the St. Patty's Rebellion. We shall have the Memorial Day Rebellion. We will not quit until we get our freedoms back. Amen?
Give me liberty or give me death. Give me liberty or give me death. Give me liberty or give me death. Governor Inslee, I'd like to inform you that Patrick Henry's most famous quote is not take my liberty so I avoid my death. It doesn't have the same ring, does it? This is not the foundation of the American people. We are resilient. We are strong. We are courageous. We are brave. We are Americans. We are not going to sit in our homes and wait for the government to take us by the hand and lead us. We have churches to worship in, jobs to go to. We have families to provide for, and we have schools to attend. How can we chase the American dream if we are confined to our own homes? That is not the American dream. That is Inslee's dream. I have compassion for those who have been negatively affected by COVID-19, but the solution is not these shutdowns. It's not. It is heartbreaking to see the countless businesses that are being closed one by one. The countless teenagers that I see are depressed. The countless schools that remain closed, and the countless people who remain unhappy. We need to open up Washington.
Yeah.
Woo! People's livelihoods are being taken away from them. So, what can we do right here, right now during this Christmas season? Well, we can support our local businesses through buying from our local businesses. We can be with our families and not let the government tell us otherwise.
Yeah.
Woo! We can Christmas carol at nursing homes outside of them because they're the ones who have been the most secluded, the most depressed, and the most alone.
Yes.
We can worship.
That's right.
And we're not going to let them tell them we can't.
Yeah.
But most of all, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, we need to put faith over fear. Faith over fear. Yes, of course this makes us angry, but we need to focus on where our anger comes from. It's not from yelling, it's not from anger. Our strength comes from God. We are not alone.
Yep.
Patrick Henry knew what was up, and so do we. So join me in saying, give me liberty or give me death. Give me liberty or give me death. Give me liberty or give me death. Thank you. Now at this time I'd like to hand over the mic to Jimmy Planning. One last thing, I'd like to dedicate that speech to my Papa Mick, who was a Vietnam veteran and one of the greatest patriots I know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chase. Hey, we need to give a big hand to the speakers today. Jared, Melissa, and Andrew, the adults that got up here on stage. Give them a big hand. But most importantly, to the youth right here. These are young people. They're like 17, 16, 18 years old. They're up here talking. They're fighting for their freedom. They are inspiring you to fight for your freedom, to get them back into school and to get our country back. When in America was it not okay to question authority? When in America would we silence speech? When in America will the media not ask questions? It happened now, and we're living it. Millions of men and women have served, fought, and hundreds of thousands have died defending this nation for those basic principles of free speech, of a free press, of free assembly like this, and to worship as you wish. Those basic principles has been what set apart America from every other nation in the history of the world. And they've inspired everyone else to go forward and do better. We cannot lose that. We need you to step up. Go to wewil.com for what's happening next. Go to the Facebook, wewilwhatcom.com for what's happening next. We have to make a difference. Small steps, small meetings like this expand. Melissa, millions of hits. They're making a difference. We're making a difference. You're making a difference. We cannot be afraid of this virus so much that it would destroy our nation and our rights and our freedoms. And most importantly, it cannot destroy our youth. It cannot destroy our children. It cannot continue to keep them from moving forward and having a life. They should not be being taught fear. They should be being taught courage. They need courage. That's what it takes to live in this world and to succeed. I got to thank all the people that have been out here to make this happen. This is a volunteer effort, all volunteer, with a bunch of just interested people that want to make a difference. I got to thank you for coming out today, and you really have to spread the word. So please follow us, get traction out there. There's a letter that we're going to have posted to write to Erica Lott, a draft that you can sign and send an email with email and contact information for Erica Lottenbach for the Department of Health. We have to push to get the schools open. We have to do that. Go to the website. You can take a look at it. You can sign it. You can send whatever you want. But we need to have a lot of people do that. Spread it within your group. Spread it with your youth. Get it on Facebook. Get it wherever. Instagram. Snapchat, whatever it takes, get it out there, put pressure on them to open up before we destroy this future and destroy our children. I'm going to give it over to Ashley. Thanks again for everyone coming out. We're going to go for a little walk, I think, right? Yeah. Here we go.
Hey guys, okay, so this is our community, right? Yeah! Yeah? Do we have a message for our community? Yes? Okay, we're going to take our message and we're going to demand that they open schools. We're going to give people the power to open their businesses, because the power of message and giving the feeling back and taking away the fear and standing up is what we're going to do. So we're going to grab a sign and we're going to march, and we're going to start at Home Goods, so over here by Summit, and we're going to march all the way down these stores. We're going to take it up the road, back down up the guide. We're going to circle around and meet back here. We are going to give them our message. And what is our message? We're going to open schools now, or give me liberty, or give me death. Okay? So that's our message. Everybody grab a sign, and please go follow us on Facebook, get on our website, because we need to grow this and we need to get out and tell everyone the time is now, no more. And Inslee, you're irrelevant. Thank you. Give me liberty or give me death.
You're supposed to wear a mask.
It was a leftist. Why is it always women that are giving everybody the finger?
Get off the couch! Open schools now! Open schools now! Open schools now! Open schools! School is essential! 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 School is essential!
It's the same tyrants as they do.
Open our schools. 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 You'll be okay, right? All right, we're gonna go up and sing songs with Wylin.
Why are you guys wearing any masks? Well, how come no masks on?
schools! Open our schools! Open our schools! Open our schools!
Go down.
Open our schools! 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 Open our schools!
Amen, brothers and sisters.
Quite a walk. Would say that there was.
Look, Trump loves you. Trump loves you.
Very nice. Look at that one. That's open.
This is a great day to be in America, Patriots. Great day to be in America.
Amen.
Great day to be free. Good signs. I like those signs.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Do you guys have a good time today?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I need it open.
Yeah. You guys need to come to dance.
I know.
Did you have a good time today?
Yeah, we did.
Happy to be here?
Yeah.
Excellent. Great to see you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, how about you guys? You happy to be here today?
We are happy to be here today. Thank you very much for asking.
Amen. Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
That was fun, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you guys? Did you have fun today?
Yes, very good.
It's a beautiful day in America? Amen.
All of our rooms. I'm like,
That's good. You get an interview.
Hey, young people, you guys did a fantastic job on your speeches.
Thank you.
So fantastic. I am so proud of you all, and as are all of us. You guys hit it out of the park.
Thank you.
It really shows the benefit of the Homeschool Speech and Debate Club. Amen. Fantastic. Keep up the good work. Did you all have fun today?
Yes.
Wonderful. It's a great day to be in America?
Yes.
Amen. Hey, what about you guys? Did you have a good time today?
Fabulous. Even though I was freezing today.
Yeah?
I did not come dressed properly.
postmark by then.
Hey,
Hi,
y'all.
Wylin.
Did you guys have a good time today?
We did. Yes.
Fantastic. Was
Yes.
this a good rally?
It was great. Yes.
Wonderful.
Good turnout. Good for the
Excellent.
kids. Yes.
Well, you keep up the good work.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks so much for
Yep.
all you do.
Yep, you too.
How about you guys? Did you have a good time today?
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
A little cool. But
Cool.
at least it's sunny.
Hey ladies, did you have a good time today?
Crazy. Yes, we had a good time.
You had a good
yes.
time?
I'll give you a hug.
Fantastic.
We may be seeing each other again.
Yes, I have a feeling. Yes,
I think so.
I have a feeling.